Hello, this is Philosophy 101, and my name's Dr. Nick Nash. Welcome to Philosophy 101. In this course, we're going to begin by asking ourselves, what is philosophy, and then consider some basics of critical thinking. This is going to take up the first week. After that, we're going to spend 3 weeks asking ourselves the question, does God exist? We're going to look at some proofs for the existence of God, and consider some arguments against those proofs. Then, we're going to spend the next 3 weeks asking ourselves, what is right? So here, we're going to look into ethical theories and try to answer the question, what's right and what's wrong, and how can I know? Then finally, we're going to spend the last 3 weeks of class considering the question, which government is best? Now, in this course, you're going to develop tools to think carefully about questions that you care about, whatever those questions are. The plan for this video, I'm going to begin talking a little bit about myself so that I can introduce you to me. Then, I'm going to talk about why your education matters. And finally, I'm going to consider some possible challenges, that you may face while trying to complete your education and try to help you build a plan to deal with these challenges. So, a few details about me. I was born and raised in Pendleton, and I graduated from Pendleton High School in 1998. I moved around a lot after high school and dropped out of a bunch of colleges, actually including BMCC. In 2005, however, I ended up in Portland and started to get my life back together. And in 2006, I started back to school at Portland Community College. And I kept going to school for the next 11 years. So here I am with my wife in 2011 when I got my bachelor's degree from Portland State. And here we are again in 2013 at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee while I was getting my master's degree. Now, in case you don't know where Milwaukee, Wisconsin is, there it is on the map. It's just a little bit north of Chicago. And I moved out there on an airplane with just my bags to an apartment that I'd never seen before. And then, after I finished my master's degree, I got my PhD at the University of Western Ontario in 2017. There I am, wearing the sweet robes that you get when you finish your PhD. That's outside my office window. In case you're wondering where the University of Western Ontario is, it's in London, Ontario, Canada, which is there on the map, that little tongue of Canada that sticks down into the United States. And my wife and I lived there for about 5 years. And here is the picture of both of us standing in front of the tower at Western University with the Canadian flag flying in the background. So at this point, you may be asking, dude, who cares? I don't really care about all of the great things that you've accomplished in your life. That doesn't really help me. But look, here's the point that I want to make and why I'm telling you this. I'm just a pretty regular guy. However, I had this crazy idea one day that I might actually be able to get a PhD in philosophy. I actually remember the day clearly. I was sitting on my bed in my apartment in Portland looking at the internet, and I realized, you know what? I might be able to do that. So I slowly, over time, put a plan in place, and then I followed the plan, and I worked really hard, and I also got really lucky. But the point, and what I want you to take away from this, is look, if I can get a PhD, imagine what you can do. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about why your education matters. So the picture on the screen is from a report about job growth and education through 2020 following the downturn in the economy in 2008 and 2009. So this report had the following findings. So to begin, notwithstanding failure to resolve the federal government's budgetary challenges, the U.S. economy will grow 140 million to 165 million jobs by 2020. By 2020, 65% of all jobs in the economy will require post-secondary education and training beyond high school. Now that's the number that I want to bring your attention to. 65% of all jobs will require post-secondary education. So here we see that broken down. 35% of those jobs are going to require a bachelor's degree, while 30% of the job openings are going to require some college or an associate's degree. Now, this graph, the red line, shows job growth with people with a bachelor's degree or more. We can see how much steeper that is than the green line, which is some college, and then the blue line, which is high school or less, right? So, and this is very recent. It's from June of 2018. We see the headline of the article, 9 out of 10 new jobs are going to those with a college degree. So your education is really important moving forward in the economy. Now, successfully completing your education is probably one of the most important things that you can do for your long-term well-being. This being said, it's important to be aware of the challenges that you face so that they don't knock you off track. Now here, I'm not talking about any general challenges that we're all facing. Instead, I'm talking about particular challenges that you face to your success. So these are the kinds of things that only you know about. So here, I'm going to ask you to take a few minutes and think about challenges that you face when it comes to being successful in this course or in school more generally. So things like, are you going to school full-time and working? Do you have a family that requires a lot of regular attention? Are you living on your own for the first time? Are you taking a lot of courses? Whatever the challenges are, I want you to think about what your particular challenges are, and then I want you to think of a few strategies that you can adopt that might help you work through these challenges. So for example, if you're working and going to school full-time, both working full-time and going to school full-time, maybe a strategy that you can adopt is being very, very careful with your time and scheduling time to do your homework each day, right? Whatever the strategy is, I encourage you to think through it for each of your challenges and try to come up with something that can help you be successful. Now, in the words under this video posted, I put a link to a free suggestion box down there, and I would like you to follow that link and write what some of your challenges are. So this free suggestion box, it just goes to an anonymous box that I manage, so I can't see who is sending in the message, so I won't know specifically what your challenges are. It just gives me some idea generally of what challenges the people in the class are facing. So if you could do that, it'd be grateful, because it helps me a lot knowing what the particular challenges are that the students in my class are facing. I'll say I'm very excited about this class, and I look forward to working with all of you throughout the quarter, and I wish you all the best. If there's anything I can do to help, please let me know.